Water is to Garri as love is to pain. What does this really mean? That was my first thought when I opened this film, and that was the first line that came on screen. And I thought, oh, maybe we'd get explanation as we go into the film, this would be expanded on, right? And so, yeah, I just went into the film with that mindset, even though I didn't have expectations for this film because I had seen the trailer and I was a little bit, I'm not gonna say a little bit, I was a lot disappointed. And so yeah, I went into this film, just thinking, okay, let me see what I can find out. I mean, it cannot be that bad, right? So yeah, to the summary of the film, this is a story of Aisha, a young woman who returns home from the US, but the east side town she left behind is not the same town she's come home to. A quest to redefine herself leads her down a path of love, loss, and new discoveries. This summary, I don't know if it interprets to what the film is, but we'll find out as we go on in this journey. This movie was directed by Meji Alabi. We know him to be a music director majorly, so yeah. And the cast in this film, I couldn't get all the names of the cast, but the major cast, we have Tiwa Savage, she plays Aisha. This movie is actually a film. It is a release for a project that was it 2021 or 2022 that she released that EP Water and Garri. So this is like the project to push it, I don't know. Or yeah, she says that inspiration behind it is to inspire people, to let them know that they can do a lot of things, they can like a lot of things and want to try a lot of things and still achieve it regardless of whatever industry they've already established themselves in. That's her inspiration, right? And and she also mentioned that acting is like a first love, so it would shock you to find out so many things that we find out in this film. But anyways, let's go on. Cast, we have Tiwa Savage who plays Aisha, we have Andrew Bunting who plays Kay, we have Jemima Osunde, she plays Stephanie, we have Afolarin, he plays Mide. And yeah, that's pretty much the cast I could get. There were other younger characters, like the young Tiwa, that's young Aisha. We also had the younger version of Kay, that's Andrew Bunting's character. We also had the child actor for Tiwa and Mike's character. But yeah, those are like the major characters in this film, those four people: Tiwa, Andrew, Jemima, and Mike. So Tiwa is Aisha. Aisha is the one who has come from the USA to start her life back in her home. By the way, we don't know where this home is because no location was definitely placed in the film. So yeah, Aisha has come back to her home country from the USA. She's a fashion designer who is doing well, I guess. From what we saw, the first thing that we got introduced to her, she's having a fashion show, and then she gets a call, and then they tell her that her cousin is dead, right? And 3 months after, she flies back home to meet her cousin, to support her cousin, like she said, just to be there for her after her brother had just died. So she comes home and she's now gonna be supporting Stephanie, who is her cousin. To the performances in this film, Aisha, we already mentioned who she is, what she does. Played by Tiwa Savage, I think he was really bad. To be honest, genuinely, I have no idea what most of them were doing. I think there were a lot of wrong casting in this film, which, in turn affected their performances. I really want to believe that Andrew Bunting is a gangster in this film, but I could not get past his tiny voice. Like, I could not just see him beyond, this boy that looked like a butty child. I feel like his younger version would have been a better fit for who he was, right? If they just, stuck to whoever played the younger version of him, made him look a bit older. Because to be fair, even as the older character, he still looked younger than Tiwa Savage does, Aisha's. Mike Afolarin, maybe a little bit. I think Mike was not so bad. Yeah, it was okay, not great, but it was okay. Jemima, I don't know. Yeah, that's just what I'm gonna say. Tiwa did the narration in this film, and to be honest, it sounded more like she was reading poetry. You know, when you're in a poetry reading and somebody's just, reading through the lines of a book, they probably are not good readers. They're just reading through, and that's how she sounded. No emotion in the voice, no subtleness to it. No, it was just the same tone all through, and it didn't even sound like she was talking to an audience. It didn't sound like she was talking in a film. It was just there, and her acting throughout this film was so bad. But anyways, we're going to get to that when I talk about the things I don't like about this film. But performance generally was very poor in this film. So to what I liked about this film, which is very difficult. Genuinely, I was going to say, the fine faces and the cinematic view of it, but that doesn't really interpret anything if it doesn't enhance the viewing experience, right? I liked the language. I had asked on Twitter, which language was this Fante or Fante? I'm not sure how it is pronounced, that they were speaking. And people say it's a Ghanaian dialect. So yeah, I actually liked the dialect. Sounded just, it sounded like pidgin, but it's a different version, and it was just really nice. Yeah, so maybe that. I would also just give them the fine faces, because E for effort. And it kind of looked cinematic, not bad viewing, right? Like the feel and look of the film, it wasn't bad, let's not lie, right? So to the things I did not like about this film, first off is the title. I understand where the title is from. I understand the inspiration behind it, but I do not see how it interprets in the film. And that is my issue. You don't just name a film because you want to name it your EP or something, and then we get into the film and we don't even see how it correlates. Maybe other people will, but I didn't. And also the trailer was so bad, guys. I've not even gotten into the film, but seeing the trailer, I was so disappointed. I just knew that I wasn't supposed to have expectations. They say that your trailer is supposed to be like your best shots, your best cuts, and the likes. But a trailer was so bad that I already knew that I shouldn't be going into this with any expectations. And guys, for someone who was already disappointed by the trailer, you would expect that, I go in there and I do not have to face any disappointment anymore. But I raise you guys, the movie is worse than I expected it to be. It is so bad. I didn't think that it could have been that bad. Now, safe to say that I do believe that there was a story to be told. I do believe that if it was in the right hands, if it had the right directing, if it had the right script writers, if it just had the right build-up, it would have been a good story. I believe that every story has a potential and it could be more, right? But for this film, I don't think so. Another thing I'll talk about is the casting. The casting in this film was really bad. First off, Aisha looked older than Kay, and you want me to believe that Kay was actually friends with Mide. Now, for context, Mide is Aisha's elder brother, or was Aisha's elder brother, who died at the beginning of the film, or we got to know that he had died, right? And Kay and Mide are supposed to probably be age group, but when Aisha comes back to to home, I don't know where home is. When Aisha comes back home, Aisha is looking older. I want to say that it is when people go to the US, they grow faster because they're eating better. But even facially, she does look older than this person. And because he has a baby voice, I honestly cannot just look past him, right? I think that these people did not just fit for their roles. Even Jemima, I think Jemima was actually a good fit for a role, but she just didn't get enough. She wasn't explored enough. We didn't see her enough. She was just not enough for me. Yeah, I think that's just a summary of it. Acting, guys. Acting was also so bad. I feel like even untrained child actors shouldn't be that bad. The only person that was trying really hard to pull his weight would have been Andrew Bunting. But again, like I said, it just couldn't get out of that Ajibo attire for me. He was so stuck in it that I just couldn't see him beyond that. I also think Afolarin was trying, but yeah, it just wasn't good enough. This wasn't just his best performance. So yeah, acting was so bad. I'm not going to be speaking on the others because I feel like I've already established enough of that. No character development, no depth. There was absolutely no character development all through the 1 hour 20 something minutes of this film, guys. They said this film was supposed to be a short film. I feel like they should have stuck to that. If it was a short film, it would have done everybody a good favor. 15-20 minutes were done. Max 30 minutes were done. Because if you know you're not going to develop your characters at all, then there's no point, going through a whole 1 hour film. 1 hour plus film, actually. Right? You're not giving them any depth. We don't know these characters. We don't get to experience them. My introduction to all of these people is very surface level, that if somebody asked me, oh, who is this person? I could legit just forget their names. Who is Aisha? Why is she the way she is? Why does she do the things she does? Who is K? Why is it the way okay, we understood K a little bit, they were brought up in the streets, and yeah, it just became, he couldn't make his way out, so yeah, he became the street king. But like, there's still no depth to this person. For the past 10 years, what has happened in their lives for the past 10 years? No depth. Absolutely none. Why was this movie shot in Ghana? Why did Aisha and her family and her cousins live in Ghana, and her grandmother? Why did Aisha not have, family? Or why did Aisha not have parents? Even though they did not actually tell us that this movie was shot in Ghana, we know that it was shot in Ghana. Like, why were they living in Ghana? What's the explanation to that? How did Aisha leave to the US after her brother was killed? Like, these are the questions I keep asking, because you say that this child is from, not well-to-do home. She was, her grandmother had died. This is the grandmother that they lived with, her and her brother. So it's her brother's responsibility to take care of her. Now her brother was, killed. And she's all alone. And somehow, miraculously, she travels to the USA. How? We know that she had dreams. We know that she had aspirations. But how did she achieve it? And now for someone who was such a big dreamer, that went to the USA and, started doing things for herself, why did she come back? You cannot tell me that she came to support her cousin, because they barely got 2 scenes together, guys. So when she came back, like, what was the plan? Why was she so excited to be home and so proud of her coming home? Because you tell me you're just here to comfort your cousin, and then now you're just so proud of yourself. You're so... God. Why did Jemima speak Yoruba to the people when she was passing by? These people obviously do not speak Yoruba. There was no point in time where they established that these people are Nigerians. And again, this movie was shot in Ghana. So, guys, I just have a lot of whys and whys and whys and whys and whys. And I feel like I would not end with the whys. She went to a whole USA. Aisha went to the entire USA. She did not see any man. And then she came back to come and be following the street king. She leaves her entire life behind to come and do what exactly? Because, to be honest, all through this film, she did absolutely nothing. The editing of this film is so bad. It is so bad. It feels like they just picked scenes together, joined them together. Like, the transitioning, it is so poorly done. And this is not even a shade to the director, but I just feel like if this film was probably directed by a movie director, it would probably have done better. Or, they would have given more thought into what they were doing. It felt like they were just doing promotional content. The scene where we meet Aisha's grandmother and her brother, the first time they're all together, and then they're like, oh, play the music, and they just start playing music. For what? For why? And then the grandmother dies. I feel like I've wasted so much saliva on a film that didn't even give it so much thought. They did not even spend their time trying to build up these characters or trying to build up their entire story. Everything was just lacking, guys. Everything was lacking. And it's just so painful because there is potential with the story. There is potential. They wanted to do a bit of, shock value towards the end of the film or at the end of this film, and everything just felt bland, to be honest, regardless of the fact that they tried give us that bit of suspense. It fell flat. It didn't work. Nothing worked, guys. Absolutely nothing worked for me in this film, and I don't even know what to say anymore. I think this was very, very poorly done. I understand that it's supposed to promote the songs, which you could have done in so many other ways, to be honest. Right? You don't have just do promotional content for your film. You can do like short music videos for each of them. They don't have to be done in a music video kind of vibe. It could be in like a movies kind of vibe still, but just don't do a film. Don't call it a film. And this is not what we get. Oh, bad. Yeah, that's my thoughts on it. And I do not recommend this film, not even to somebody I do not like. That's how bad I think this film is, guys. That's how bad I think it is. So yeah, that is my review of Water and Garri. Have you seen the film? I want to know your thoughts. I want to know what you think of Water and Garri. Please buzz me in the comments. Say all your thoughts. I want you to drop everything. Like, I feel like I didn't say so much because I'm just so pissed. And yeah, that's why I'm going to end my review. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And I am going to see you guys in my next video. Bye.